Welcome back, everyone. We do have a key member of the United States Senate in studio with us tonight, South Dakota Senior Senator John Thune, taking time from his busy schedule to touch on some key topics in Washington. It is good to have you here.
Thanks, Brian. Good to be here.
You know, earlier this year, you said that you would throw your name into the race for the new party leader for Republicans in the Senate. Do you still have those aspirations as we sit here right now? And what is the behind-the-scenes process like for you if you are still seeking that?
I am. We're going to have an opening after the election. Senator McConnell has said he's not going to seek the leadership position again, and that gives us an opportunity. It's always an inflection point, an opportunity for a new generation of leadership. And I'm interested in the job, so I'm working hard to help the team to try and get the majority in the Senate. And ultimately, the way it works is after the election, we have an election to elect our leaders. And it's a secret ballot election, so you have to do whatever you can to earn the support of your colleagues, and I've been doing that. Talk to everybody, continue to go out and campaign and help people around the country, and so I feel good about where we are. But you know, it's there are things you don't control in all this, and the election isn't for another 3 months.
Is there specific, I'll call it politicking, that you have to do behind the scenes, or is it just you doing your job and hoping that the other Republicans see what you're doing, see that you're willing?
Well, I think part of it is doing the job, doing the work, and working with each of the senators and their offices to help them achieve their goals, help the team succeed. But it is, you kind of have to almost have a strategy for each individual senator. Yeah. And it is a lot of one-on-one. I mean, I've sat down with everybody, some more than once, and my staff continues to work with them. Like I said, I've been around the country on behalf of a number of our candidates, either who are running for re-election or challengers that are trying to get elected. In the end, this gets decided by Republican senators. So we have 49 Republican senators today. After the election, I hope we have more and a majority, but that means you got to get half, 50% plus one, of that number to win the leader race. And that's what we've been focused on. And I feel, like I said, I feel very good about where we are. But you can't take anything for granted because there are things about this you don't control.
You know, you've served in the Senate for a while now, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how your approach to leadership has evolved over time. Does leadership mean something different to you now than it did a couple terms ago?
Well, I think to me, leadership's always been about making the folks around you better. I've always been a team, and I draw on a lot of sports metaphors for better or worse. But I do think it is a team sport, and I do think you have to try and do what you can to help your colleagues succeed. That's I think ultimately the sign of a good leader, and then keeping people together to achieve your agenda and your goals. And I've had to do that in the job I currently have, but as a leader, you've got to set that agenda if you're in the majority. We're in the minority right now. We hope to be in the majority. But yeah, I feel like I'm very equipped in terms of style and approach. I like to be proactive, attack problems early before they fester and get out of control. I like to empower individual senators and allow the committees to work, and I want to make the floor a place that's open so that people have an opportunity to have their voices heard. I think ultimately that's what most of our colleagues want. I think that's, frankly, for that matter, what most senators want on both sides of the aisle.
You know, speaking of the future, this is an election year, no secret to anyone that's paying attention. Former President Trump on the Republican side, Vice President Harris on the Democratic side. How do you feel about working with the winner of November's election, whoever that might be?
Well, you'll work with whomever the voters give you to work with, but obviously I hope that President Trump is successful and wins. I think with President Trump and a Republican majority in the Senate and the House, there's a lot that we can get done if you have the so-called trifecta. If we have divided government, if we don't succeed in taking the Senate, or if the Vice President Harris wins the presidential election, then that's a different conversation. But one way or the other, you want to make sure that you are making good decisions for the people you represent, the state of South Dakota, and ultimately for people in this country, and working on solutions, trying to solve problems. I think more than anything else, what most people want to see from their elected officials is people that are focused on getting results. And Lord knows we've got some big problems and some things to fix in the country.
Yeah. Good to spend some time with you today.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Brian.
making time for us.
Good to be with you.
South Dakota Senator John Thune with us here on Dakota News Now. We'll be back right after this.